Hello, I'm Mr. Dady, and today we're going to talk about transversals and angles. Alright, the first thing I want to talk about today is supplementary angles. So let's say I have a line, any straight line that's considered 180 degrees and 180 degrees below. So a total of 360 degrees if you made a circle. So we're just taking one line. I could draw a line anywhere on there. It doesn't matter where. And this angle plus this angle will always equal 180 degrees. This is called supplementary angles. Alright? So it doesn't matter where I cut it. So it doesn't matter where I cut it. So I'll cut it right here. I'll say this angle right here is 110 degrees. What is that angle right there? So we write out an equation. So let's call this x. So x plus 110 always has to equal what? 180 if it's a straight line. So then I subtract 110 from both sides. X equals 70 degrees. So that right there is 70 degrees. And those are supplementary angles. It doesn't matter as long as it's a straight line. And what they'll usually say in this scenario is it's two parallel lines cut by a transversal. So when a parallel, you know it's a straight line. If you have, say this was 80, this would be 100. And those are supplementary angles. The next thing I want to talk to you about is a word called congruent. You'll see it as a symbol that looks like this. All congruent means is that it's equal, but it's in angle terms. So if I have this, and you'll see this in a second, but I have this angle right here, I say is 40. Based on what we're going to learn later on, this one has to be 40. And that's called being congruent. They are equal to each other. I'm going to say this word quite a bit as we go through this, but congruent just means equal angles is all. Alright, now what I've drawn up here is what is called two parallel lines cut by a transversal. Alright, this is your transversal, these are your two parallel lines. It'll always tell you this. As long as these two lines are parallel and it's cut by a transversal, there's a lot you can tell about these angles. So the first type of angle I'm going to talk about is the corresponding angles. These angles, how I like to explain it, is they correspond with the top and the bottom. So one is at the top left of this one. So if I split this in half right there, say this is A up here and this is B down here. What is the angle that corresponds with it down here? 5. If I said 4, which one on A corresponds with B then? If 4 is here, 8 there. And those are corresponding angles. Each one has one that corresponds with it. So I would write that as angle 1 and angle 5, angle 4, and angle 8. And I'll write the rest of them out, and you don't have to watch the rest of this. Now for my alternate interior angles. So it's exactly what it says. Alternate interior. So you're looking at the inside, that's what interior means. So you're looking at inside the parallel lines. Then alternate means opposite. So if I say 3, what is the alternate of it? 6. And what this means is it's congruent, as we talked about at the beginning. That means 3 and 6 are congruent angles. That means they're the same. So if 3 equals 100, 6 equals 100. Same thing with 4. If 4 equals, well, since that's 100, what we learned about supplementary angles, and these are supplementary angles, 3 and 4 are. So if this is 100, this is 80. So 4 is 80. What is 5 as an alternate interior angle? 80. These are always supplementary, and these are called alternate interior angles. They are congruent. All right, our next set of angles that we're going to find that are congruent are our alternate exterior angles. It's the same thing as the alternate interior, but it's exterior, which means on the outside. So if I say 1 is an outside, the inside, so it's exterior. That, what is the alternate 1 on B down here? 8. 1 and 8 are congruent. So if 1 is 60, what would 8 be? 60. Our other set of alternate exterior angles is 2. So if this is 60 and these have to be supplementary angles, what is this? 120. That's 120. What is this down here? 120, because they are congruent angles. The last set of angles we're going to talk about are vertical angles, and vertical angles are opposite each other. Their measures are congruent. So the first one I'll do is I'll say 1. What is 1's vertical angle? So this is usually the one people have the easiest time with. So 1 is on the exact opposite side. 4. So those two are congruent. That means they're equal. So if this is 60, this is 60. My other set of vertical angles, or another set, would be 3. If 3, what is 3's vertical angle? The one that goes with it, 2. Alright, so if that's 60, and these have to be supplementary, that means this is 120. Now we have a whole nother set down here. So if 5 is 60. Now let's see if you're paying attention here. How did I know 5 is 60? 5 is 60 because of alternate interior angles. That means this and this have to be congruent, correct? Yes. So if I know this is 60, by vertical angles, what is 8? 60. And we'll do the same thing again. So if, actually we'll do it a different way. So 3 and 7, what type of angles are they? They're corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent, or equal. So if 3 is 120, what is 7? 120. And then 6 has to be what? Based on vertical angles? 120. So you see how they all kind of relate to each other? You'll have to do situations where it says 120 is congruent to 7. How? Or they'll give you 4 and say it's 55. What is angle 7? Stuff like that to find it. As long as you remember the basics of what's congruent to what, it's sort of like a big puzzle. It's actually kind of fun once you get used to it. All right, I hope this helped, and good luck.